There are miniguns in Roblox Rivals, and today I'm going to be ranking all of them from hardest to easiest to master. Before we get started with that, I'm giving away an energy gun bundle, a classic bundle, and a heavy duty bundle for 80,000 subscribers. If you want to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is like and subscribe and watch to the end of the video and comment which one of the three you want. Also, I'm going to be separating these into three categories. First up, we have extreme, and then we have medium, and then we have easy, with the hardest ones being in extreme and the easiest ones being in easy. Starting out with the hardest gun to master, we have the grenade launcher. This gun is extremely hard to master, especially on console and mobile. It's a little easier on PC just because you have more range of motion, I guess. Actually, that's just gym talk, bro. It's easier to aim with this thing on computer, and it makes the movement a lot easier with this thing too. But if you use controller or mobile, this thing can be extremely hard to use, especially for movement. It's a lot easier with mouse and keyboard. But considering the majority of the player base for Rivals actually plays on mobile, this will be a very hard gun to use for a lot of people. And in my opinion, in terms of damage, this isn't all that great. It is great for movement, like I said, I love it for that. But aside from that, it's a pretty hard gun to use, especially when there's better options out there. The damage isn't the best. You do get 6 grenades, but aside from that, it's just it's just kind of whatever. Next up, we have the RPG. It's basically the grenade launcher, except it's a little less. You don't have to think. You don't have to think as much of this thing. You can be a little stupid and still be able to use this. Like this is pretty good for a lot of mobile players. A lot of mobile players like to use this thing and just blast people into oblivion, if you know what I mean. But I feel like this is easier to use, like if you want to damage somebody. I know it does more damage than the grenade launcher. It does 100 to a direct hit. Like if you hit somebody directly, it does 100 damage. So you can either 2-shot with this thing or 3-shot. So it's really not horrible, but it's not great. There's definitely better guns out there, but I just feel like this is a little easier to use than the grenade launcher in my opinion. And that's mostly just because, you know, it's a little more straightforward than the grenade launcher, and that's why I kind of placed it above that. I think the splash damage might be a little higher too. At least I don't know for sure, but I have a hunch. That's a little theory of mine. Also, this map is horrible for RPG or grenade launcher. Like it just goes through the water. Next up, we have the energy rifle. This thing doesn't do very much damage. It does have unlimited ammo, but the hardest part about this is the hardest part about this is the ricochet of the bullets. They've changed it so many times that nobody really knows how to use it to its full potential exactly. I think the ricochet is hard to use. I don't get it personally. I mean, you can shoot as much as you want, and that's the good thing about it. But I feel like there's definitely better options out there, and there's definitely easier guns to use, especially compared to this thing. I mean, I don't really see this thing get used all that much, and I guess that's kind of for good reason because it's not all that great. Yeah, the energy pistols, or the energy rifle, I should say. The energy pistols are goated. I mean, not gonna lie, but yeah, the energy rifle, it's kind of mid. It doesn't really do all that much damage, and it's kind of sluggish in a way. It shoots like super slow, like not gonna lie. Next up, we have the crossbow. The crossbow itself, you have to be extremely accurate with it. And while it can be good with controller and mobile players, it's pretty hard for people on PC, especially if you're not as good with aiming. It's a very interesting weapon. I don't exactly know specifically, like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Not gonna lie. My brain is cooked right now, guys. Give me a break. Hope this guy recognizes me. Hello. But yeah, the crossbow can be extremely good in the right hands, but it can be extremely hard for some people to use too. Like, I can't deny this thing can be pretty good in the right hands. But the question is, how many people have those right hands, right? Because I can see how this can be extremely hard to use, but I can also see if you get really good with this thing, I can see how good it can be. It's got potential, pretty much. Next up, we have the gun blade, which the reason I didn't place this like lower on the list is because this thing actually works pretty good on arena, and that's what most people vote for anyway, or even backrooms. Like close range maps, this thing is actually pretty good on, and I've used it a time or two recently just for videos, and I've actually been enjoying it a little bit in those few times that I've used this thing, right? Like it can be good. This gun has the potential, like I said, you know, it has the potential kind of like the crossbow, but it's still pretty hard to use. It's a weird gun. It does have a dash ability that's pretty nice. Of course, I'm not going to be able to use it really well on this map because this is not a close range map at all. But when you get things like this, you can just combo the blade and the bullet. It can actually be pretty easy to kill people. It does damage like really fast. Yeah, honestly, I might use the gun blade here and there a little more because I feel like I want to give this gun another chance, right? There's worse guns out there, but there's definitely better. Well, here's actually a perfect example. Like if you get close to somebody, boom, it's like you can obliterate them like that. Pretty fun. Next up, we have the bow. The bow, it has a charge up mechanic that can be pretty hard to use. The good thing about the bow though is actually that it has an extended hitbox, so you don't have to be like 100% accurate with your shots, but it is also a projectile weapon, so you have to aim like ahead of the enemy rather than just pointing directly at them. Like, it's not a hit scan weapon pretty much, but it can do some pretty hefty damage, especially if you charge it up completely and then hit a headshot, which that's why a lot of hackers like to use this thing. I've encountered some hackers in lobbies that just like completely like aim hack. You know what I mean? Like, they have like super extended hitboxes and they can just hit with crazy damage. But even if you don't use the charge up mechanic, you can like spam click this thing, and even that's not too bad. I just feel like this is a little easier to use on all devices compared to the other guns in this list, mostly just because of its extended hitbox. If this thing's hitbox was even slightly smaller, this would easily be one of the hardest guns to use in the game. I guess it's not really a gun, it's a bow. Yeah, like last video I called the daggers a gun and a bunch of people got mad at me. I just heard a kid scream in my ear. That I killed him and I heard him scream. Oh, here he's again. Bro, he's screaming. That's funny. Anyway, yeah, I like the bow. It's good. I just do think it's a little hard to use sometimes, but the extended hitboxes are really nice. Next up, we have the flamethrower, and this thing can be either super OP or super not. The thing about the flamethrower is that, like, similar to the gunblade, you have to be pretty close to the enemy for this to be good, but if you get close to them, it's really good. You can destroy people easily with this thing. Of course, I mean, I picked like the worst map to use examples on, but maps like arena, back rooms, maybe even station, possibly, this thing would be super good on, because you can just destroy people like this, and you can even push people, which is I get pretty mad when people push me with the flamethrower, not gonna lie. It's like somebody shoving you, like, you know, like bumping into your shoulder at Walmart or something. That's what it feels like. Let me push this guy off the map. Hold on, never mind. I had an idea there and it failed. This is a little more brain dead, but I just feel like it would easily be one of the easiest guns to use if it wasn't for the fact that you can't use this at long range at all. Like, if this had some sort of long range feature, it'd definitely be a lot better. Next up, we have the shotgun, and it suffers the fate of a lot of the other guns on this list, that you have to be super close to the people for this to work properly. But if you are close to the enemy, then this thing can absolutely destroy them, like, not gonna lie. Like this guy right here, boom, 112 damage. Absolutely insane. So you can 2-tap people at close range, and this thing can be extremely fun, especially on arena. I just feel like it's pretty easy to use compared to, like, you know, the flamethrower. Like, I think it's slightly easier to use than the flamethrower because you don't have to put as much thought into it, right? There's less tracking, you just kind of point and click, and that's the good thing about the shotguns, that you have pellets, right? So you can just like, you can go like boom like that. You know, you don't have to put as much thought into it as you do with like the gunblade or the flamethrower or anything like that. It just kind of works. But then once they get, like, you know, a couple feet away, you start doing 7.5 damage instead of 100. Then it gets to be not as good. It gets to be a little harder to use, because then you have to think about the secondary that you want to use, and it's just eh. And I swear to God, if I have to switch games one more time, I'm gonna kill somebody. Next up, we have the burst rifle. The burst rifle is a little hard to use, mostly just because it's burst fire. It's a 3-round burst rather than, you know, automatic, which a lot of people are used to automatic, not necessarily burst. And they also reduced the magazine size from like 20 to 15, which sucks a lot, because the gun was, you know, it was bad for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was pretty good, which I think they've actually nerfed this twice, because it used to be like the best gun in the game because it did so much damage. It's fallen off like a lot, and that's kind of sad. That makes me very sad. Like, they need to make a memorial for the burst rifle. This thing's dropped off so much. Like, I just feel like there's so many specifically better options out there that I don't find myself using this intentionally all that much. It's a good gun, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there's not as much reason to use this compared to other guns like the assault rifle, because the assault rifle is basically just this but better in every way possible. I think the burst rifle might still do slightly more damage than the assault rifle, but I just feel like this would be hard to use for mobile and controller players because of the burst mechanic. I'm not sure how that would work with auto shoot exactly, but I can't imagine it would be great. Pretty much anything semi-automatic works great on auto shoot. Anything not semi-automatic, no bueno. I just feel like the burst mechanic would be really weird for those kind of players, you know what I mean? Not that I've ever tried it personally, but I can't assume it's that easy. Let me just beam the crap out of that guy. Okay. Next up, we have the sniper, and the sniper's, it's a fun gun. It's not fun to play against, but I find myself on PC. I'm not very good with snipers, so my tracking's a lot better than my first shot, but it is extremely easy to use on mobile and controller, and that's the main reason why it's placing as high as it is, because when you're on mobile and controller, you can just look in their general area and just kill them immediately. But then if you're like me and you play on PC a lot, it's just and you just suck at aiming, it's not a fun experience really. And then I think they made the body shot like 50 instead of 75 somewhat recently. Like they made a little nerf to it, and that wasn't very fun. But I mean, if you're not hitting headshots with this thing, then what's the point of even using it? Like, you know. But this is definitely one of the easier guns to use in the game, especially considering auto shoot. Hello. Oh, I do wish you were able to adjust the zoom of the scope. I hate how like it's just auto tied to your FOV. Like I want to zoom in more with this thing, but I can't. That's what I don't like about this. And then it's hard to use on close range maps unless if you're like an absolute menace. Like aggro snipers go crazy, can't lie. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them, so. Next up we have the minigun. This is an insanely easy gun to use, and the reason being is you can just absolutely shred people like this. The only reason it's not like top of the list exactly is because the movement's pretty hard with it. You can jump around a lot with it, but once you charge it up, you can't really move that much. You're like a turret pretty much. You just have to kind of like find a place to sit, like on a rooftop like this for example, and then you can just spray people down like super easily. Your tracking does have to be good, so this might be a little hard for auto shoot users. I just heard another kid screaming in my ear, bro. Yes, this guy right here. I mean, you okay, bro? You good? You good, bro? Yeah. Alrighty, had to make sure he wasn't it wasn't like raging super hard. Yeah, the minigun, I love this thing. Very good. Just shred this guy real quick. See, it just beams people. It's insane. Next up, we have the paintball gun. The paintball gun is also super easy to use because, you know, it's automatic. It does really good damage. I think this does more damage than the assault rifle, actually. The only problem it's not as high on the list is because you only get 20 rounds in a magazine. So this would be extremely hard to use on like anything above a 2v2. Like if you're playing with more than one other person, this thing gets pretty hard to use because you just have a lack of ammo, which sucks. You used to get more than what you have, but to be fair, it was like super OP, so I don't blame them for nerfing it, to be honest. But in the right hands, this thing can be extremely deadly. And of course, the easiest gun to use is the assault rifle. It's a very easy gun to use. It's the starter gun, so everyone has experience on this thing, right? Everyone's touched this thing at least once, and it's fun to use. It does a lot of damage. It's automatic. You get plenty of reserve ammo, which I like, and it's overall a very balanced experience. Like, it's not too OP, it's not too trashy. It's okay to play against, it's okay to play with. And overall, the assault rifle is just a very, very decent weapon. It's very solid, and I just hit a wall. Yippee! Subscribe for more Rivals videos just like this.